Tonight on Let It Rip.
It's about protecting Detroiters' basic human rights and allowing Detroiters to really live with dignity.
Everybody who had an idea, everything got put in and nobody ever worried about what it was going to cost.
Vote no on Proposal P.
In just a few days, Detroiters head to the polls to vote on Proposal P, which would make big changes in how the city is governed. With so much on the line, we take a closer look at the charter revision, hearing from those who support it and those who say it's a big mistake. Time to Let It Rip. On the panel tonight, the Vice Chair of the Charter Revision Commission and a vocal supporter of Proposal P, Nicole Small, is back. As is one of the co-authors of the 152-page proposal, one of the top lawyers in Detroit, attorney Richard Mack. On the opposing side, we have longtime political consultant Adolph Mongo and Reggie Reg Davis, a 2011 Charter Commission member and former Wayne County Commissioner as well. Plus an independent analyst who's looked and reviewed this proposal. The president of the Citizens Research Council of Michigan, Eric Lufer, is here. And as always, anchor attorney Charlie Langton. Nicole, let's begin with you because we just got word that the state Supreme Court ruled that the proposal will remain on the ballot. But what do you want Detroiters to know about how this document could change their lives?
Well, this document is the people's charter. It's for the people to have prosperity. The people show what can happen when they stick to their guns. They stand together and stand united. We believe it's because of those efforts that the Supreme Court ruled in our favor. This is the one opportunity to solve not all of the ills of Detroit, but definitely those ills that have been on the table for administration after administration. Real affordable water, not free water, to make sure we have more transparent elections, to make sure we have real water affordability, to make sure we have more transparency, not only in our government, Hugh, but also more transparency and real civilian oversight in our public safety, both police and fire. If we don't get this right this time, then we'll have another 16 years before we have this opportunity, because obviously we have not had a council nor a mayor to support the efforts of finding these solutions and actually implementing the solutions to these problems.
Well, Adolph, you heard Nicole say that parts of this proposal are designed to help people in need, relief from high water bills, protection against inflated property taxes, internet access, better public transportation. So what's the problem?
The problem is that this proposal neutered the mayor's office. I work for a strong mayor. When I work for the city, I work for Coleman Young. A mayor should be able to appoint their own police chief, their own corporate counsel. No, that should be a given. We have a Rodney King situation where when the city of Los Angeles couldn't fire the police chief because the way he was appointed. Now, if you're going to get the city council and this newly elected body, police commissioners, all them have an input, you might get a police chief that doesn't agree with the mayor and won't carry out his agenda. The mayor should be, if this is a strong city, strong mayor, weak council government. Now, if you want to change the way this is run, you would put it on for the people is a city manager type situation. But no, you want to leave the mayor and neuter the mayor. That neuters the office. And plus, I had a problem with creating new departments. Listen, down the years, the city had to cut departments, they had to merge departments. How many people are going to be in this departments, and how much the budget is? I ran a department almost 40 years ago, Department of Public Information, a small department. The budget was $3 million back then. And what would it cost today? How many people are you going to have in these departments? They want to create a Veterans Affairs office. You already have one in the county, the state, et cetera. So you know what? That's my main issue with this proposal.
The Detroit Free Press echoes the criticism that Adolph just made, and that this proposal creates more than 45 newly elected positions, including 5 advisory commissioners in each of the 7 city council districts. Why would you need even more elected officials? Don't we have enough already?
No, absolutely not. We don't. That's just false. I think that it's unfortunate that this misnomer has gotten out there that we create 45 new positions. Actually, we create the 3-member election commission, and we actually reduce positions on the police, and then we do transition from having a 7-member fire advisory board that's appointed to a 9-member elected board. So that's 2 more plus 3, that's 5, not 47. The numbers are just wrong. Where they're getting the numbers wrong is that there were 35 CACs, Citizen Advisory Councils, that were in 2012 charter, Brother Davis's charter. Here's the problem, Huel. You have corporations who are now being held accountable for the first time. Corporations who have been taking hundreds of millions of dollars in tax breaks, handouts. I'm going to develop in your city, but I want some money for it. And there's been no accountability. They have to sign a tax break contract when they do that. And these contracts have gone unenforced. So Marathon Oil, $180 million in tax breaks from the city. Oh, we're supposed to hire Detroiters. Less than 10 Detroiters work there today. Where's all the Detroiters? Oh, what can we do about it? Oh, everybody throws their hands up. No more. Proposal P fixes that. Yes on Proposal P, go vote. Yes on Proposal P to the Facebook page. You'll find how we have an auditor general who now can enforce these tax break contracts. So that's why you see this big $1 million plus campaign against Vote No, because these corporations are used to receiving hundreds of millions of dollars in tax breaks without accountability. Proposal P puts them accountable. And on the flip side of that, Proposal P gives you back the property taxes that you pay. So the corporation been paying too little, but then the citizen been paying too much. We've been paid $600 million in property taxes, Huel, since 2008, more than what we should have paid, overcharged. Proposal P gives you your money back in future tax credits in a responsible way, not just cutting you a check, but in future tax credits up to $1,000 a year. So we've looked at this, we've analyzed this. The numbers are all wrong. All these false narratives about how costly it is, it's all wrong. We have an independent economist who looked at these issues and he debunked them all. So again,
who's going to pay for all those new departments? And who's going to pay for them? Who's going to pay for them? I'm just asking the question. How are you going to pay for them? How many people are you going to hire?
Again, go to vote. Yes on Proposal P, the Facebook page, yes on peoplescharter.com, DetroitCharter2018.com. You will see a line-by-line breakdown of the CF. You'll see the CFO's analysis, which is false. First he said 3.4 billion over 4 years. Then he said 2 billion over 4 years. The number keeps changing, but you'll see a line-by-line breakdown of that, and you'll see how the actual number is more $7.1 billion a year. And that doesn't include the revenue that we generate when we do things like the IRAP program by bringing in a water affordability program where it will enhance the revenue that we collect out of the water department to the tune of tens of millions of dollars a year.
All right, Reggie, let me bring you in here because this whole controversy is partly your doing. The charter approved back in 2012 said that the revision should be up to the voters now and every 16 years. But the problems back then seem to be the same as they are now. So if not Proposal P, then what?
So I'll tell you this, Huel. For one, I want to say congratulations to Councilwoman Mary Sheffield, who did her job, the job of a representative democracy. We as a people choose those groups of people or persons to represent us in office. They take the majority of our ideals and they make it work for us on behalf in government. She put together a resolution which talked about putting together language to place on the ballot in November for us as voters to vote for a reparations. Should it be language about putting together a board that will research and do all the things necessary to talk about reparations for Detroiters? She did her job. This charter is not city council. The charter commission is not city council, meaning that all the overly prescriptive policy ideals is not what a charter is. A charter, Huel, I did major research on this when I was a charter revision commissioner. I was the novice at the table, sitting at the table with a bunch of lawyers, this being a legal process, sitting at the table with career politicians. And I was a guy from Joy Road and Dexter, had a dream to be on the radio broadcasting, Reggie Reg. I wanted to represent my people in Joy Road and Dexter. The charter, Huel, is simply a framework document, right? Which creates the structure of the way the city government operates. That's it. These guys are going way too far. And if they want this to work, that whole separation of powers that really works and it's supposed to happen with this strong mayor council form of government, they need to change the form of government. If they're going to share the powers, if city council is now going to take on the mayor's duties and responsibilities, let's shift the form of government to a council manager form of government, and it may work.
All right, Eric, let me bring you in here because I posted the full document on my Facebook page, but I don't know many people who've actually read it. You have. What do you think of what you read?
Yeah, we agree that the document will take away powers from the executive branch and shift powers to the legislative branch. It does a number of things to increase the transparency of city government. It does a number of things to increase citizen involvement in city government. It has a number of aspects of social justice and equity, all things that we all can agree are good things. We want to encourage people to pay attention to their city government, to get involved in their city government. Clearly, there's a number of issues that have been longstanding in the city of Detroit that need to be addressed, health and all policies and the affordability of water and transit. The issue comes with this document is very prescriptive on the things that can be done. And the problem boils down to a city charter, just like a state constitution or the national constitution, is purposely very difficult to change. So we want this document to be longstanding. And if we get 10, 15 years down the road and it's not working, you have to amend it or call another city charter commission. And anything you want to do requires a vote of the people. We worry that this is going to create a number of inefficiencies of government. You're creating a lot of citizen commissions and that defraying of responsibilities between the executive and the legislative branch blurs the lines of accountability. So we worry that city government returns to some of the issues of inefficiency. And the costs have been overstated by the city Office of Financial Management, but it does create new costs. And the issue that we're worried about is that the city is just a few years out of bankruptcy. It has maintained a balanced budget and has done fine, but it's not rolling in money. We got this ARPA money coming in. That's one-time money. Don't count on that to fund things going forward. So in order to afford some of these things, it's going to require taking money from other departments. So, does that mean less funding for public safety, less money for parks, less money for a number of things? It's a budgetary decision. That's what city council is going to have to do to keep things going, but it comes at a cost.
But in your estimation, it will not bankrupt. Charlie, let me bring you in because the Coalition to Protect Detroit's Future, opposing Prop P, said, quote, the only people who will benefit from this decision by the state Supreme Court are the lawyers who will litigate this for years to come. What do you think?
What's wrong with that, first of all? Seriously, listen, first of all, let me say this. The Supreme Court got it right today when they allowed the voters of Detroit to vote on this. This is a 3-year endeavor by an elected board of charter commission. And so a governor should not have a veto. So I think the Supreme Court was right. So let the people vote what this elected charter commission did. Here's my problem. As I understand it, back when this was created, only 14% of the people voted anyway. There's seems to me, this is an extraordinarily, there's so much minutia in this document. It goes everything. I think Reggie Reg got it right. I've looked at a lot of charters. I haven't read all 152 pages, but I started reading a little bit of it. Whoa, is it hard? Lawyers will have a field day in just interpreting this thing. It's just too much. And I know Richard say no, but a charter should be a guideline. Look at the charters of many. It should be just a framework. It should not be so specific as the duties of a Veterans Committee, Immigration Committee, Disability Fund, Small Business Fund. I don't know who's doing what in Detroit with this commission. And I think that's the problem.
Well, maybe too complex, maybe too comprehensive. But look, we're out of time for this segment. But look, stay with us. More Let It Rip to come as we delve deeper into Proposal P. Stay with us. Back to Let It Rip as we invite attorney Lamont Satchell to join the discussion. And Lamont, I want to go to the issue of the complexity of this proposal. Some say it is too big, too cumbersome to even understand. How do you answer that?
That's not true. That's not. There's this narrative out here that is too prescriptive. Well, first of all, what people need to understand is that you have the right to put in your charter whatever it is that you want. Some people believe it should be a framework. Some people believe that it should be more prescriptive than others. The Detroiters made that decision. This charter speaks to the issues that are pertinent to these times, just as the 2012 charter did, coming out of a post-Kilpatrick, pre-bankruptcy era. It dealt with the issues that were there at that time. They created an Office of Inspector General. They created very strict guidelines with respect and very prescriptive with respect to ethics. They even put in there, dealt with the issue with respect to insurance in the city, which many would say is prescriptive. So I think the way to look at this is this: what are the issues of the time that will be here and persist over decades that need to be addressed, and that the citizens have determined they want them addressed in the charter? They have a right to do that. People have a right to say that. And so there isn't this rule that says that it can't be prescriptive. You can be as prescriptive as you want to make sure that people understand exactly what the intent is with respect to a certain charter provision. And with respect to this, it's 150 pages. The current charter is 140 something pages. So I don't want to give people the sense that they created a new 150-page charter. The current charter is 140 something pages. This charter just adds additional language, clarifies other language, but more importantly, it addresses the issues that are of concern to the citizens in this time in the history of Detroit.
Well, Reggie, look, you've lost a brother to gun violence. You've also been active in reducing the violence in our communities among the city's youth. But this proposal would change the way the police chief is chosen. Do you think that will help solve the problem?
You know, chaos and confusion is the word. It's written all over the place. In this strong mayor council form of government, we must allow the CEO, you know, the city of Detroit is of course a municipal corporation. In that, you've got the CEO or the mayor who makes the major decisions. These guys are not only the police chief, where you got everybody, all these other levels of government participating on putting in the police chief. That's going to be chaos, because the police chief is then going to be going against the mayor every day, like in Chicago and California. It's going to be chaos. So you're not allowing for that strong mayor council form of government to operate. And the mayor, he or she is the CEO. How is it that this language, this proposed language, says that the mayor is removed from putting the master plan, the city's master plan together? That's the main duty of a CEO, is to put together the master plan. They're taking it away from the mayor and giving it to the planning and development and city council. If you're talking about shared power, they're taking the power away. So this can't be a strong mayor council form of government.
Nicole, let me bring you in. How do you answer that, Nicole?
Can I address something real quick?
It is totally false that we have disempowered the mayor. And that's the part that just really kills me. Obviously, neither one of them have even read this charter. Number one, if you read the existing charter, the one that former chair commissioner Reggie Reg was on, it says this: a national search firm identifies the top candidate. It then goes to the board of police commissioner, then goes to council, and then the mayor has a final decision. The only thing that we did was formalize the process. The commission gets one vote as a body, and the council gets one vote as the body, and the mayor, he or she, still gets one vote. So the top, whoever gets 2 out of 3 is the person who's elected. Let's talk about terminating the chief of police. That decision is the sole decision of the mayor, no one else. Nothing else has changed. So they're misinterpreting the facts. And let me say this: it's mighty funny how people have a problem with us creating a Department of Veteran Affairs, a Department for Disability Affairs. The reason why I find that interesting: where were you when the mayor just created a new department for demolition? No one has said anything about that. No one says anything about how we got here, which is because these issues have fallen on deaf ears because we have had failed and pathetic leadership that will not do the will of the people. That's the bottom line. And so,
but you don't put it in the charter.
Listen about the.
Don't put it in the charter.
Listen, people can't.
The people who came out. As far as the 15% of people who came out, we've always had a low voter turnout for the primary for the local election. That has nothing to do with it.
Adolph.
You're not city council, Nicole. You guys are not city council.
From Adolph. Adolph, go ahead.
Listen, Veterans Affairs, as a veteran myself, I welcome all the help that veterans can get. But how many Veteran Affairs officers you gonna have here in Detroit and in the state of Michigan? Two. Listen, I listen
Nicole,
to
let
you.
him speak.
Let me speak.
Nicole, let him speak.
The bottom line is, under this proposal, you're gonna have a hunter running the city, not a elected government. You're gonna have a hunter made up of all these positions. That's what you're gonna have.
Can I bring some clarity to this?
it.
You're gonna have a hunter.
Can I bring some clarity to an issue?
Okay. All right.
Your opinion
One-
not based on facts.
Let me bring some clarity
Go ahead.
quickly to the issue.
Go
With
ahead.
respect
Go
to
ahead.
the Reggie Reg brought up the planning commission. We took that from the mayor and gave it to the planning commission. You know why we did that? Because the law required it. And the city asked for it. The law requires that the planning commission.
CEO, it has to be it has something to do with
I'm
the
talking,
master plan.
Reggie, hold
Wait a
on,
minute.
Reggie.
Hey,
With any
don't,
city.
wait a
Reggie,
minute. Let
Reggie,
everybody
I'm
speak at one
telling
time.
you I'm telling you the law. The law required that. And if you read the charter with the commentary, you'll see the law required that. And we did it. It was the city who asked us to do it. It was the planning department that
The
requested
mayor
it.
has something to do with it. I don't care what you say.
He does. He does. If you
But
read
you're
the
taking
charter,
you're
let me say-
sharing too much of that. That's a
if you
very
read the
important piece.
charter, the mayor is still involved in the process. It's just that the law required that it be done initially by the planning commission. Lastly, with respect to the cost of this charter, here's what was never done and no one wants to talk about. Where was the analysis to determine the cost savings with respect to the implementation of this charter? Where, for instance, the city has spent over the last 9 years, $57 million in lawsuits out of the police department, right? $6 to $7 million a year. Well, if you implemented the changes with respect to the police department and the reimagine and reconfigure the police department, you would likely save money. But no one did an analysis of the savings with respect to the implementation of the charter. That's responsible government.
But it won't go anywhere. You're going to be in court. When you're talking about getting rid of residency, that's a state issue. City
It's
can't
not.
get rid of it.
We don't do that, Mongo. We don't get rid of residency. We don't do that. I would not have written that into the charter.
You want residency.
Hey, stop shouting.
The state
Stop
got rid of
shouting.
residency.
Look,
not the
stop
city.
shouting.
They can't bring it back.
Charlie, let me bring you in.
They can't bring it back. They can't bring it back.
Real quick. It seems to me there are here.
They can't bring it back.
Let me hear from Charlie.
Important in this whole discussion of the charter. Water rights is a very important issue. Taxes, very important issue. Human rights, the reparation. These are important issues. But it seems to me, though, that in the last couple of years, the people that are proposing the charter were not happy with the people in the office. And so if you don't like the people in the office, get rid of those people.
Right.
Change the entire thing.
Right, Charlie. Don't put it in the charter. Right.
You don't put it in the charter. You get rid of the people.
That's not what a
make
charter
decisions.
is.
You
Thank
want
you.
a smaller government and hold those people more accountable.
Thank
I
you,
think
brother.
this
But
person.
Charlie, isn't that the same argument they made during the Civil Rights Amendment? That's the same argument they made. Get rid of the people who are making these policies. No, they're not. People have a right. Hold on, Charlie.
Representative democracy.
People have a right to address pertinent issues that are concerned to them in their charter. That's your conception of what a charter should be. People can differ.
Why can't they do it at council?
That's what council's job is. That's what we elect them. We don't need a city council if we have this.
in the charter.
But it can be done either way. Look, we have not solved anything here tonight, but I hope people will get a clearer understanding of what's in this document. Again, you can go to my Facebook page and read all 151 pages, or you can listen again to this discussion and read as much as you can about Proposal P on the ballot Tuesday, August 3rd. Look, panel, we thank you for your comments and insights, and of course, we'll hear a lot more from you on election night. Stay with us. Final thoughts to come. Time for final thoughts, beginning with Nicole. Go.
Don't believe the lies. Vote yes on Proposal P. Is for the prosperity of the people and empowers the people of Detroit.
Adolph.
Listen, P, say no to P.
Richard.
Vote yes on Proposal P Facebook page. We do not take away the strawman form of government. We empower citizens to make recommendations over issues that they study and they're dealing with. Vote yes on Proposal P. Check us out on the Facebook page.
Reggie?
Vote no on Proposal P. The proposed charter language is too far prescriptive, and policy making is the job of city council. We already have a city council. You guys are not our city council.
Eric?
The charter can be as prescriptive as it wants to be, but it creates issues down the road that we should take into consideration now.
Charlie?
Vote yes, vote no, just vote. That's most important. Vote.
And look, sending our prayers and best wishes to our friend and frequent guest, Steve Hood. He's fighting a serious illness right now, but we want him to know we are with him every step of the way. We thank our panel and we thank you for watching this edition of Let It Rip.